Good afternoon, Leroy. How are
Hi.
you?
Okay, thank you.
That is so great. How was your weekend?
Great, great. Actually, I have a good weekend.
You did? So,
Yes.
did you get a chance to do some self care?
Yes, I did. This time I went to the mall
Okay.
and I was walking around. I
Okay.
feel good. Yeah,
Okay. That is awesome.
yeah,
That is so
yeah,
great.
right.
So that made you feel like kind of release some of the tension that you've been going through?
Kind of, yeah,
Okay.
kind of.
That's great.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's great. Well, I remember last week we spoke in session about the cognitive behavior therapy
Mm-hmm.
and some of the exercises that are within the cognitive behavior therapy.
Right.
And one of them was your interest was to kind of tune into how your body feel when you're feeling depressed.
Right.
Can you give me a little bit more of what were you able to do when you had those feelings come about?
Right, sure. I was trying to, every time that I was feeling that my body was going to get that heavy and tired.
Okay.
So before that, as soon as I feel the symptom that this is coming,
Okay.
I was trying to prepare. I was just going out to the park and walk a little bit. I was trying to get shoes that were more comfortable, and then I wear my staying home clothes for feeling comfortable, walking around my home, going to the backyard, going to the car to see if there is something I can do. I mean, I was trying to get busy, and that worked actually, and then the feeling went away.
Okay.
Thank you for that. It really worked.
You're so welcome.
Yeah.
That is so great that
Yeah.
this technique was able to give you some type of relief. So,
Sure.
and that's it. Do you feel that this technique is something that you can find as a staple to use on a daily basis or sometimes?
Well, actually, I am learning that as much as I stay active,
Okay.
my body and my mind will be better, because being idle is what, I just find out that that was giving me the opening to be feeling negative thoughts. And then, this is why I was thinking so much, because I have so much time laying down or sitting down, doing nothing, and then, those feelings came up. But now that I am busy, I am trying to do things that I enjoy, small things. So that is the difference. That made the difference. So thank you.
You're so welcome. You're
Yeah,
so welcome.
yeah.
And that's great that it made even if it's a small difference, it did make a difference.
Oh, sure, sure. Small things, like they say, baby steps, but going forward to do something and working to feel better. And this is what I am doing. I cannot say that I am 100%, but yes, I am feeling better, actually. Thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. So I do want to kind of, over the past few weeks, we've been going over cognitive behavior therapy and the techniques. And one thing that hasn't been elaborated on is the separation anxiety and how you feel with your son going off to college and actually being out of the household. Can you, from your perspective, can you tell me more on that?
Sure. Sometimes the parents, we get so much attached to our kids, and sometimes we come in a relation that probably we don't see it that way, but probably it is what it happens, that we are in a certain way codependent on our children. Because what happens is that I believe that a parent, mom or dad, we need to be parents, but still we have to have our own private life, adult life. But when we lay our life just supporting our kids, and we do our life, our hobbies, our activities, all regarding how we support our kids, so then we find out that we have no life on ourselves. And so our world is our kids, but the kids then don't stay there all the time. So when the time comes that they have to go, our world go with them, and this is when it happened to me. So I need to retake my word, rebuild my word. I need to find, the purpose in life for myself as an individual and not as a father. And this is what I was learning. And I believe that all these weeks that I talked with you has been a time for me to reflect and think about how I am doing things, how I have done things, and then to correct and take changes
Okay.
and challenges. And here I am. And thank you so much for helping with that. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. So from what I'm hearing you say is that this is going to be a challenge. However, you're trying to
Yeah.
face it in your own way with your son, because I know with your son being so close to you that separation is kind of hard to really just wrap your mind around.
Sure, sure.
So I know in the beginning of the session you did tell me that you were doing great, but I've noticed that you kind of tense up a little bit
Yes,
when you're speaking about your
Sure.
son.
Yeah.
And there's no pressure. I want you to know there's no pressure. If you're not ready for that conversation, that is absolutely fine. But just from your perspective, do you feel that that's something you would like to talk about? Because I notice again that you tend to tense up and you
Right.
look down when you're talking about it. So can I ask you, is that like a defense mechanism of not wanting to talk about the separation anxiety? Can you give me more on that?
Well, again, up to this time, my son has almost a year
Okay.
away doing his college classes there
Okay.
out of the home. And by this time, I can understand, that this is the best interest for his behalf, for his future. I understand that one day, even myself, I have to leave home and I
Okay.
have to leave my own parents and I have to look for my own place, in this world, for instance. So he is just doing that. I just want the best for him. I wish he could stay longer, but this is what I wish, but it's not about me, but it's about him.
Yes,
And his desire was he was going to explore being more independent. And
Okay.
another thing that I was thinking lately is that as a parent, I could say that I can feel myself that I am a successful dad for the fact that my son wants to be away and independent and not dependent on me.
Absolutely.
So then, that is telling me that I equip him with better resources so he can just survive by himself instead to be all the time attached to me. And this is something that I was not seeing in the beginning. At this time, he was working for the first time. I couldn't believe that a child that I feel that he was so shy and so little, now he is the customer representative of a hotel, and then he's taking, the clients, checking them in and out, and doing all these kind of things that require, a deal of being organized, having character to talk with people, because, the clients sometimes they are not easy, all of them,
Yes.
and still he has the capability to talk with people, all kind of people, checking them in, using a computer, talking about their money, levels of difficulty that he is being able to achieve, and also he's doing good in his grades at school. I mean, all these things are telling me that he is going in the good track, and then as dad, I have to feel no more than happy for him, and then no less than happy. So this way, this is helping me to I can see that it was worth it, the separation, and then I feel a little better. I know that I cannot see him often as I would like to, because he is so far away from here, from home. He is always 13, 12, 13 hours driving. So this is a long drive just to see him, so I cannot see him so often as I would like to. But he's doing okay. We talk once in a while. Even the telephone, we don't have a communication that is on a daily basis because he's either working sleeping or he's at school. And so do I. So the time that we communicate is not that often, but I understood already that everything is fine. No news is good news.
No news is good
And then
news.
you see, I am feeling a little more optimistic. And thank you so much
You're so
for helping me in the process of my grief when I first came. I am feeling a lot better thanks to this cognitive therapy that you was providing on me, and the techniques really worked. And thank you so much. You good. Thank you.
You're
Thank you
so
so much.
welcome. You're so welcome. So I see from your perspective that you feel confident that your son is confident and he's able to take the initiative to be independent.
Sure.
So that makes you, feel
Yeah.
optimistic about him really taking on his future.
Yes.
That is so great.
Absolutely.
That is so great.
Yeah.
And even when you have those moments, because you're going to come back and revisit those moments.
Yes.
I just believe that it's human nature that we come back and revisit those moments, and we have sometimes those self-doubts, those feelings of regret, or did I do everything right?
Yes. That happens in the very beginning, of course. And not only that, but as a parent, when you see the empty nest, you recap all the experiences that you have since the early childhood. And then this is the time when you think, probably I could do this better.
Yes.
Probably I could be this in another way. Or probably if I did this something, he might change his mind and just decide to stay. But, this is part of the grief that produced the separation, but not necessarily the reality of the decision that he took. The matter of fact was that he felt independent, and he felt so independent that he wanted to explore far away from home, and he thought that he couldn't make it. And I asked him, and I told him all the things, the pros and cons that was taking with this decision, and he said, I think I can handle it. And then I just trust him. And then now when I see the things in this perspective and I see behind on time, I can see that he was thinking, this decision with time enough, and he was thinking in his own time, and he calculated that he could really, make it, achieve his goals there, and then, and of course, and most important, he knew that if he might need help in the middle of the process, he always can count with me. So that makes me comfortable and make me satisfied, and in a certain way, even proud that,
Yes.
that, my son can just go ahead and count with me in times of need. So that's good.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's a great feeling.
Yeah.
That's a success. That is a win.
Exactly.
And that's what we want. And I know your son, in his mind, he wanted to really, possibly in his mind, he wanted to prove to Dad that, hey, I'm far away, but it's gonna be okay. I want you to know that I have you.
And as you can see, I can talk about that more freely, because in the very beginning, I couldn't talk much about it because I was just trying to concentrate and not start crying,
I know.
for talking about that. Now, I can talk more freely about it, and I don't have the sensation of sadness or emptiness that I used to have in the beginning of this therapy. But now I feel joy and happiness.
And those are the that's fine. Those are the moments we want to hold on to.
Exactly.
And whenever you do, because we're going to revisit some of those feelings that they don't feel so good, and they may be negative.
Sure.
So in the midst of this, I do want to introduce another technique that can be very useful. And I just want you to kind of elaborate over the next sessions that we have of how this technique was useful, just like within the cognitive behavioral therapy techniques.
Sure.
But this technique is called solution focused brief therapy. So it's like for a quick solution to a problem or a feeling or a thought that you may have. And whenever you feel this, for instance, have you ever tried to journal?
That thinking about it, I just bought a little journal.
Okay.
I haven't started yet. I think that now that you mention it,
Okay.
the next time when I feel anxious, what I'm going to do is start writing my feelings. If I want to tell something to my son, I think I'm going to write it up. So
Okay.
this way, I'm going to have the journal as a resource
Okay.
to I cannot keep this anxiety with me, but I can just manage to
Okay.
have a way to express my feelings somehow. Yeah.
Have you ever tried the meditation? I want to first and foremost say, I want to incorporate them, and you can incorporate these techniques slowly, step by step.
Okay.
But anything that you say, this is useful, or this is not working, so I can try the next step instead of being stuck in between,
Sure.
and you have a void of what to do.
Yeah.
So you really don't want to get caught in between that rock and hard place.
Sure.
And I want to, elaborate more on whenever I'm feeling challenged. One thing that I can say that worked for me is that what the thoughts that ran through my mind was, if I do what I always done, I get what I've always gotten.
Sure.
So I took that and I said, well, am I going to keep running into this brick wall, or am I going to find a way out of this feeling, because this is not a good feeling. I don't like how it feels.
Right, right.
And it can kind of prohibit us from doing things that we really know that we're capable of doing, or that we have an interest in doing.
Sure.
So I want to know, I know this is something you said that you would try. Is this something that you can try soon, or would you want to try that?
Oh, definitely I want to try it soon.
Okay.
I believe that
Okay.
journaling is interesting,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm also I have a friend of mine who is telling me about this music
Okay.
that is music for relaxation.
Yes. Yes.
And then he told me about a CD that he's going to handle me the next time I see him.
Okay.
And then I think that he said that when a time in his life that he needed to meditate, he was putting the CD, and then he's going to meditate and positive things, and I'm going to try them out. Definitely it's going to be during this coming week.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
That sounds great. And I
Yeah.
really want to know how
Oh,
that
yes.
was effective for
And
you.
thank you so much for motivating me,
Yes.
and giving me all those resources and
Absolutely.
ideas, because definitely this is making a difference in the way that I am feeling right now.
Absolutely.
you.
And it's my pleasure. It is such my pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am.
I want to know one thing that you can say that it has really stuck with you during our therapy sessions, that you hold on to, and this is something you challenge yourself on, and at the same time you live through those challenges by that one difference.
Right. Well, about the whole thing, I will say that
Mm-hmm.
the first step is the most difficult.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
the
Absolutely.
first step when I was feeling deflated and hopeless, and then I have to battle against myself to give me the opportunity to take the step toward do things different and recover from there. I believe that this is the most challenging moment. Even not taking the decision to come to see you, but actually putting in place all those things that you was suggesting to do, because I knew that was to breaking the paradigm, the things that I was doing wrong, and trying to better improve the way that I was doing. That was the most challenging. And beside that, things went a little more easier,
Okay.
and I feel a lot better. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Yes.
Well, today in session, we went over a lot of things, and
Yes,
we
ma'am.
actually got down deeper, especially elaborating on the separation anxiety and how you feel. And at this very moment, I know that this is something that you're working through. We have the techniques lined up. We have the journaling that we spoke about. That is something that you would incorporate in your daily activities. We also spoke about the cognitive behavioral therapy techniques and how you feel
Yes.
when you're listening to your body, or when your body is giving you signs of distress.
Yes.
And we identified the different techniques that will help with that
Yes.
stressful level. And we've also spoken about over the weekend or over our next sessions of what we're going to incorporate and how these different techniques have worked for you
Okay.
and how we can continue to grasp onto your strengths.
Okay.
So if it's anything that you have any questions about, please feel free to let me know. Give me a call, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you coming to session.
Sure.
And thank you again. It is my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.